Hey, Papercut here with a different type of explaining as I play a game. I played this game offline of stream, and I did that because I was just playing a few games in the middle of the day, and I happened to play it against the famous streamer Whamen. And continuing my series on explaining my thought process as I play, especially in connection to the examples I gave in my how to play in Feudal guide and how to play in Castle guide, I like to I've been trying to create video examples of me playing, giving examples of the things I talk about in action. So in my feudal guide video, I talked about the playstyle of feudal aggression and what you want to try to do in that. And so this is a great example of a game where I played feudal aggression as Japan, and I want to talk through the thoughts I was having and the things I was doing and trying to do based on what I saw, so you guys can see it in action. I'm going to play this game at speed, and talk through things as it's happening, as if I'm really playing the game, but I'm not. Anyway, let's go. So when considering playing against Malians, Malians is not a civ you want to fast castle against. I was guessing that Whamen was going to do the cow boom, just because that is Malian's go-to strategy. Um, I did have some background information that on YouTube I saw that she had videos about how to do a scout push as well. So I was potentially thinking she might also go scouts, but I really thought that she would just do a cow boom. And if I did my own fast castle, it just wouldn't really be very good. And the reason being is because you have to think about what you gain on a castle and what your opponent gains from you going castle. Going castle will give me one new unit, which is my mounted samurai. If I ran mounted samurais at uh, Malians, there's just a lot of things that don't go right. They have Donzos that can kill knights. They have Musafati warriors that do okay against knights. Even massing javelin throwers will still do damage even against castle knights. And by the time I age up and start pushing, she will have up her cows, and it'll be really hard for me to do enough villager damage to stop that age up from happening. Once the age up happens, the floodgates open. Let's say I go castle and I mass samurai, Musafatis, lose. Let's say I mass Yumis, javelin throwers, slaughter them. So you can you can see how it's not really like going castle, it buys me a lot. Instead, I'm giving her a lot of free eco. So instead, and what I would suggest you almost always do against Malians is you have to do some sort of feudal pressure. Even if your goal is not to win in feudal, you have to make them spend resources and fight to open yourself to maybe go fast castle or maybe go 2 more TCs or something crazy like that. But in this case, my goal is I'm just going to make units and go for it. I'm going to start by massing. In my mind, my plan was I'm going to mass on Ubigatius, because they're fast, they do have a lot of high DPS, and if she opened with like Donzos, they kill Donzos. If she opened with scouts, they would do well against scouts. And if she made javelin throwers, they do well against javelin throwers. And it's also the reaction I'm trying to cause. So in my mind, if I can get her to make a lot of archers, I can then switch into samurai. Samurai would do massive tank, and I could try to get some nice timing push with that. Whenever I say timing push, I mean there are things that you're trying, there are certain points and power spikes that you're trying to hit, and you have that time where it can really pay off. So in this case, if I can force her into a lot of archers, I have this timing where if I switch over to samurai, and my eco will be better at that point, so I can afford samurai, that I really go all in on samurai and do a big push. Because if that push fails, she makes Musafatis and my samurai suck. So it all depends on that one big push really working out. So I'm going to go up, of course, with the Kura Storehouse. I decided to keep it close to the wood line. The reason I do that is because I'm thinking about my efficiency of my first barracks. I need my first barracks to come up and be ready to go instantly. The first units getting out is vital. Maybe I can catch her doing something like a tower. Maybe I can catch her setting up her cow boom with no units. Maybe I can catch a villager kind of out in the open. Um, the big thing I'm worried about is a tower. So I'm putting my Kura near the wood line ensures I don't have to make a lumber camp for a while, which saves me time. It saves me 50 wood, and it seems small, but it really does pay off. And my Kura has all the upgrades I need anyway, so it's not like I need a lumber camp for wood upgrades. On my splits, you notice that I'm going to keep 4 on food just to get the amount of food I need to age up, and I'm going heavy onto wood right now because I need to be dropping a barracks. What's really nice is that the eco setup for this build is pretty straightforward. Both samurais and obligations require food and gold, so I really only need a basis of like 6 to 8 villagers on wood, and I'm going to try to drop up to 6 to 8 barracks. And once I have those barracks dropped, I barely need to be on wood anymore. I need wood basically just for houses. But I can basically just keep flipping back and forth between food and gold, mostly food, so I can just keep making units. And my goal is, for this to work, I need to mass an insane amount of units. I need to make sure I'm massing as many as possible, as quickly as possible. Women ages up, I age up. I'm scouting for her first. Pit mine is, I find it, it's in the back. Very lucky for her. I was really hoping for a front pit mine. I drop my barracks, and you notice the placement I put it kind of catty-cornered to my base. It's because I'm still keeping open that first ring of farms. If for some reason this game goes very long and I run out of berries, I want to make sure I have good farm placements. Now, the great thing about Lipany really encourages feudal fighting in this sense, because there's so many berries. As Japan, if I get my 2 economic upgrades, I can get a lot from berries. So you even notice that I kind of avoided being on berries until I got my second upgrade, Takazaiku, I think I'm saying it right, which makes my berries a lot better, and now I can go on berries and be successful. Merely drop a barracks, and I drop my first Ana, and I see that she scouted me, so now I'm going to expect her to be making units. I'm just hoping, though, that I caught her being overly aggressive, would be the goal here. I'm just going to keep adding villagers on the farms when they pop up. And you notice I'm just going to keep 7 on wood. And every time I get 150 wood, I'm dropping another barracks. I even keep 2 villagers near my TC, so I can drop a barracks every single time. I hope you also notice how often I am bouncing back to my base and updating my units, my eco, things like that. So I see 2 villagers on the pit mine, and now here's where the first key thing I decide to do is, I need to attack from multiple directions. What will lose me this game is if I try to attack one spot with Anas. Anas have high DPS, but they're very weak, especially if you have a lot of archers. But they're fast, so I want to take advantage of Ana's speed. We have to always be asking ourselves, what is our unit's strength, how we can take advantage of that. And I see she's only just at the pit mine on the left side. So I'm going to send 2 Anas to one side and 2 Anas to the other side. And the goal is to continuously attack from 2 sides at the same time. Even if one attack is small, the goal is, can I just keep pulling her back and forth and make her feel uncomfortable, and make her make mistakes because she keeps seeing these pings everywhere. I see she's at a tower, so I immediately send an Ana over to stop the tower. Great timing. And you notice, I did catch her being greedy. Instead of building a production building or get the tower first, she decided to drop a pit mine first, 150 wood, when she could have got that tower up first. So caught her in that, pushed the villager away. The second that Ana takes a hit, I run away. I'm not trying to engage with it, I'm just trying to distract and pull. So I pull her one way, and you notice I'm dropping another barracks, and I keep making Anas, and my goal is 0. My goal is 0 resources as much as possible. I am working down to 0 resources. I don't want to be floating anything. I'm attacking the pit mine, and I keep rallying my Anas to a central location. I'm going to keep splitting them. I'm going to have 2 Anas go right, 2 Anas go left, and just keep going back and forth. Whenever possible, if I can catch her, so I caught her with the javelin, not paying attention, so I sniped the javelin thrower. As you notice, I keep adding more and more barracks, keep making more Anas. There's another barracks, have another house going down. I notice that she's doing long range cows, so as much as possible with this cow boom, I want to snipe those cows. So I see the cow coming down, so I snipe the cow, because every cow I kill means that's a cow she has to gather before she can put it in her pasture, which from here on out I think she's safer with her cows and sets up a mill near her cow boom. So you notice once again I keep splitting side to side, side to side. Attack. It's 1 archer, so I'm going to charge the archer. On the other side, I catch her doing another tower. And this is the beauty of doing attacks on both sides. If I attacked completely on one side, she'd have one free side to get safe. By attacking both sides, I'm making sure she can't feel safe on either side. Now, she has a lot of archers, so whenever I see those archers come, I'm going to disengage and run away, because my Anas are faster. And when she engages me on one side, I will then engage on the opposite. I'm just continuously trying to slow her down and really make her invest in these samurai. So I'm going to attack the opposite side. And I'm already kind of planning, okay, if I go in on this side, I'm going to try to snipe a Vil. I make more units. Pop, 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 pop. I immediately run away because I know her archers are probably coming that way now. And then I'm going to attack with the next one. You see I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, back and forth. At this point is when I realize I'm going to switch into Samurai Sim. Because if she keeps making this many archers, eventually she'll just overwhelm my Anas. I actually decide to ignore the archers and just attack villagers. And this forces her to actually stay with these Anas. I snipe another cow. I then get another 2-3 villager kills. And now I'm running away again. And this is when I switch into Samurai. At this point I realize she has invested heavily into archers. And my Samurai will tank so much damage. I also added more to gold so I can afford all my upgrades. And also get the Samurai upgrade. I'll soon quickly realize I have too much gold, and I'll pull off of gold and go back on food. And now I'm basically just rallying to food. I've also reduced my wood villagers to 3 because I have 5 barracks, and I can add a 6th one here in a second. I don't need any more on wood, so I actually pulled the villagers off wood onto food because the thing I'm really lacking is just I need so much food to pump out of all 6 of these barracks. So she catches those on us once I just run away. If I can make her chase me, it's great. And at this point, I'm going to take a tactical pause and just mass samurai, because as I said, I have a timing here. If I show up with 1 or 2 samurai, she will realize I'm massing samurai, and she will get a lot of Musafatis out. So I'm not going to push her. I'm going to wait and really build up my samurai here to make a surprise. Now I'm still being... I forgot to take the sheep off the scout. Oof. Now I'm still being aggressive, right? I'm still rallying pretty far forward, but I'm not being crazy aggressive. She notices, so I run away. I really hope that she doesn't see I have samurai. I keep running away. Drop another barrack, drop another house. And look at that, 0 resources. That's so important to me. It's making sure, if I'm going to be feeling aggressive, I'm going all in. It is crazy how, if you just keep making units, how often that will just win you the game. You can even lose multiple fights, but you just keep making units, and your opponent's like, okay, I can pause, I can add more eco, I can add, to in this case, more cows. Then all of a sudden, you will just have way more units than them. I also realize I get my arrow defense, because I'm facing a lot of archers, and adding that arrow defense to my samurai will make them super tanky. And then watch what I do. I send my samurai forward first, so she has to target my samurai. If she tries to target my Anas, my samurai will just start killing her archers. I then run my Anas past her archers, because my goal here, once again, is just eco damage. I'm not actually trying to fight her army. I just need to keep doing eco damage and keep her in feudal. So I rush past, and I decide I'm going to burn this pit mine. I still have my 2 Anas on the right. I'm going to send them in. And I'm not even really paying attention to them much. Like, if they go get villagers, that's great. I'm not paying attention. I'm just going to burn down this pit mine. Look how tanky my samurai are to her archers. I have now 6 barracks, and I'm pumping 6 units at a time, and I'm researching siege engineering, because I see the towers, and I realize I'll probably need to drop rams soon, either to ram her towers and pit mines, or to ram her pastures, which would be the best bet, or to ram her buildings and kill her production. I then rush in to start sniping vills. Look at those Anas just swinging like crazy. But my samurai bought me so much time and killed her eco so much. I see that my samurai have started falling, so I run away with my Anas, because my Anas are fast. And now this is when I really need to build up for the big push. I have researched siege engineering, so I could get rams. I then move a few more units over to wood. So now I have 5 on wood, just so I can get this ram. And really all I need is 1 or 2 rams. I'm now going to attack from a different side. So once again, I'm anticipating, I'm hoping that she thinks I'm going to attack from the same position. So she's all rallied to that one spot. I'm going to go to the right. Thank God for Lipiny berries. So much free food. And I get my free farms as well. And the big thing is going to be this surprise attack on the right side. Especially because I know this is actually pretty close to her cow farm. Not cow farms, her pastures. If I can pop some pastures and kill cows, that basically kills her eco. Another big thing here is, because of how often I was attacking, I think she really struggled the wall. And walls would have been huge for her slowing these raids. Towers do okay, but being able to just completely stop my units from coming in, that was a really important part of this action, is to make it so she didn't even have the wood, really, I think, to wall. So since she was staring of archers, I'm going to rally a little bit farther back, and now I'm going to push forward. And the key here is, when this attack starts, I want my other army to push in at the same time. I know she starts having Musafatis, so it's pretty simple. I'm going to set my Anas forward first, so my Anas will charge. I then notice her archers coming from behind, so I bring my samurai down to fight the archers, while my Anas are killing the Musafati. So trying to make sure as much as possible my units are attacking the right units. Ram goes for the tower, and then I send in my other army forward, because she's paying attention to fighting on that side, and that army's going to dive the wood line. And now I'm just rallying directly into her base. At this point, it's all or nothing. I have to win on this fight, it feels like. I bring my units back to kill the villagers that come out of that. I'm now diving her wood line. Her units are dying. I'm now going to target her pastures, and every time I pop a pasture, I'll kill the cows right there to make sure that she's not getting the food and she quits, because at this point I've done too much eco damage. That was a great game. Felt really good. Whamen is a great opponent. She was regularly in Conqueror, so felt great to win this one. But when it comes to feudal pressure, I hope you notice some things that I was doing that I really emphasized in my video. One, really making sure that if you're going to make units, continually add production as you get more villagers, so you can make units. I rarely, if ever, could queue more than one unit in my production building, which worked out really well because then I was getting so many units on the field. Two, I made sure that whenever possible, I was going back to my base to adjust my villagers, to continue to make villagers, to get them on resources. I took advantage of my pressure by going out on the map to get resources like those berries, which were really good for me with my economic upgrades. Lastly, I set up a good timing for myself. I had a plan, Anna's into Samurai, and to time that with Matt making her mass archers into Miwayne Samurai, and then doing that big push to finish it, and then targeting and trying to attack in multiple spots. I kept a perimeter around her base so she never felt like she could leave, and every time I attacked, I tried to do multiple pings to distract her. And in the end, it was able to get me the victory. I hope you were able to gain some stuff from watching that game and seeing a Feudal play in action. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you're interested in more support, feel free to join my coaching Discord. Link is in the description below. And good luck on your games.